Hi, I'm Tad Radzinski, speaker, educator, and expert in corporate responsibility and sustainable product design. Thank you for joining our March series on Vision to Value, the Profit in Corporate Responsibility. I'm really excited about this series because this is one where, if you've been following the whole blog series, we've been building up to this point where you actually now have a sustainability program, you're taking it out to the world, and you're using it to increase your sales, increase your brand recognition, all kinds of different things like that. So today we'll be talking about leveraging sustainability to increase sales. But remember, sales are not just monetary. There's things that you can do as far as building brand loyalty, getting more consumers to start looking at you, developing relationships and things like that. And we really want to emphasize that fact as we go through the presentation today. So one thing to remember is all the hard work you've done to get your sustainability program together has great value, because sustainability definitely sets you apart. For those of you that have been following along and are familiar with doing a materiality assessment, as you recall, in the materiality assessment you got feedback from your major stakeholders, which will be internal and external. So it could be your employees and your customers and different things like that. So now that you have your sustainability program, and based on the materiality assessment you did, you know that your goals were established to meet not only the needs of your organization, but also to meet the needs of your stakeholders. So now that gives you a great story when you go back to your customers or your internal employees or whoever your key stakeholders are, to be able to say, hey, we heard what you said when we did our interviews with you, and we established our whole sustainability initiative around not only what was important to you, but what was important to our company as well. So it's a great thing to be able to tell the story. It's a great way to go back to customers. It's a great way to keep the dialogue going. And we have found that really having that connection with people and having the relationship is really important for sales. So other great benefits of having your sustainability program is definitely demonstrates that you're forward thinking, you have a long-term vision. That's great for both your employees and your customers. Also, if you're working with any government agencies, it really shows that you're planning for the future and you're really looking to minimize your impacts and do great things around environmental performance improvement, social performance improvement, improving your economic situation. And it's really a great way to illustrate to all of your stakeholders, both internal and external, how you're focusing on your environmental, social, and governance factors within your organization. And that's really important to be able to tell that story. And then another key aspect, depending on what you do and what your organization does, is, if you recall, we talked a lot about supply chain, and having this sustainability program allows you then to go back down the supply chain and say, hey, we're buying from you. These are our expectations as a company. What are you doing as an organization? So it helps you really push the sustainability messaging either up and down the supply chain. So if you're a supplier to somebody and you have this great program, it gives you a great story to go back to the people you're supplying to and say, hey, here's where we are with our sustainability program. We've got some great things going on, and we heard you as you asked us to really take a hard look at what we're doing from a sustainability initiative, and we want to be a long-term supplier for you. Another important thing is really how you communicate what you're doing, and that goes around marketing. A lot of companies do sustainability reports. You can see an example of one on the screen right now. And sustainability reports, back when I first got into this business, Interface was one of the first companies ever in the United States to publish a sustainability report. Now there's thousands of companies that publish these sustainability reports. Some are really good, and some are used to communicate major objectives, but a sustainability report is really a good way to get the messaging out. And it's important to remember, most companies do it every year, and you want to make sure you do a big splash when you produce that report. Also, another way to get the information out is around fact sheets or brochures, integrating that into your product information, letting people know that you do have a sustainability program going on. And it's really important that you realize that, depending on what you do in your organization, if you're a manufacturer, most organizations that you're dealing with are not only looking at the sustainability of your products, but they want to know the sustainability of your organization. And a report is a really great way to do that. Way to communicate internally is definitely newsletters. doing things on a website, internal website, or I always recommend to all of our clients to having a very clear, easy to find sustainability button right on their website. So the customers, anybody on the external to the organization can find that information. Definitely want to also share milestones and goals achieved. Most people wait till they do their reports and they don't spread the message, but we find it really important, especially on an internal stakeholder basis, to let your employees know exactly how things are going. When you have a big win, when you meet a goal, you want to get that word out and keep the sustainability initiative in the forefront in their knowledge all the time, so they're aware. Because remember, when we talked about employee engagement, we really want employees to just do this as second nature to their job, and keeping them informed is really important. Another important thing is not to forget training your sales teams. If you're a company selling something and you have a sustainability program, the sales teams need to know how to talk about that. Most of them are well versed in your products or your services, but they probably don't have a good understanding of sustainability. And we have trained hundreds of sales teams about how they should be talking about sustainability to help them increase sales. Really important aspect to remember and consider as you do your messaging and start to increase your sales using your sustainability information. Another thing to remember is there's a lot of organizations out there that are having requirements about the companies they do business with, the products they buy. For example, we've talked about Kaiser Permanente as a company that has sustainable supply chain requirements, and they also are looking for their suppliers and vendors to also have sustainability programs. Walmart's got the same thing. The Sustainability Consortium is doing things. And there's a whole list of just organizations that are pushing it down the supply chain. So remember that if you're a company that's out and you want to do business with one of these companies and you're not, you have a great story to be able to go to them and say, look, we know that you have this initiative, we know you have these requirements for purchasing, or you don't want to use these certain products, and we can meet that need because we have a very strong sustainability initiative within our organization. We really focus on our products. Those are the kind of messages you want to get out. And let's not forget, if you're a building products manufacturer, green building codes, green building standards are really pushing, the need for sustainability. There's also a huge desire by consumers to really understand sustainability and what companies are doing. More and more people are getting educated about this, and it really goes beyond the demand for green products. Like I said, there's a lot of folks that want to not only buy green products, but they want to buy from companies that have really good corporate responsibility programs, are focused on improving environmental, social, and economic performance. And don't forget, we are in the age of information, with smartphones and Twitter and Facebook and all these different things that are happening on a daily basis. Information moves really fast, and good information can get out to the world, and that's really positive, but bad information can also really hurt your brand in a very quick manner. So don't forget to use those types of media for getting the word out, and it works real well internally, especially as younger generation of employees are coming into the market, younger generation of consumers. Most young people today will not know life without a smartphone, or a computer. So you have to really understand that you've got to build upon that when you're reaching out and trying to get this information out to your customers. So I want to thank everybody for joining today. We're having a webinar on Tuesday, March 25th, where we're going to really talk in more depth about this. As most of you know who've been participating in the webinars, it's a great opportunity to ask questions. We really get to delve into this a lot more. So please, plan to come to the webinar. I also want to remind everybody we have this great seminar coming up on May 7th. For those of you that have been following along our whole series here, you're ready to come to this seminar. This is a seminar that there's nothing like this out there. This is why we built this. You're going to be able to come to this. This isn't like a 101 seminar. This is where you come and you really dive into this stuff. We're going to work in groups. It's going to be very hands-on. There's going to be a lot of great people there. Seats are filling up fast, and they're really getting filled. So I really encourage you to sign up as soon as you can. But this is a must-go-to event because it is really going to provide great value, not only for learning and value for knowledge, but getting to meet different people within the sustainability realm, and having, we hope to have a whole series of ongoing forum with the group that comes to this seminar in the future. So, it'll be a relationship building thing, and it'll continue afterwards. So please continue to subscribe to my blog. I really appreciate the comments people are giving me. It helps us really shape the topics we talk about. And I look forward to seeing you on March 25th. Thank you.